Welcome to Made in Walker, the podcast that connects you to the people, the stories, and the ideas shaping our community. From local innovators to everyday change makers, we're diving deep into what makes Walker a great place to live, work, and grow. Here's your host, Nicole DiDonato.
City vehicles are more than just machines. They help keep our city running smoothly. And the man who is in charge of making sure that they all run smoothly is Ben Willcome. He is here now. He is our Fleet Services Supervisor, Fleet Maintenance Supervisor.
Fleet Services Supervisor.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. It took me a little bit, but
it's a mouthful.
It's awesome having you here. I know you're busy in the garage, so thank you for taking time out to do this with us.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it's important.
Yeah. I think our residents are kind of interested in what all goes behind making all those vehicles, because you've got police, fire, our snowplows. There's so much more. What is the fleet look like for everyone?
Yeah. So the city owns over 300 pieces of equipment. That's, I like to say, anything from a chainsaw to a platform fire truck.
Yeah.
And the garage, which is made up of myself and three fleet technicians, we take care of every piece of equipment the city owns. So you have to be pretty versatile to do that. So it's pretty fun.
Yeah, I love being able to just kind of like walk in there and, there's a fire truck on a hoist, or, there's a police cruiser. So you never know what you're going to get. And is that kind of how you approach every day? I'm not sure what's going to happen.
Yeah, we're working towards we do a lot of preventative maintenance that's working towards being on a schedule. But it's hard to predict, the weekend or, fire trucks breaking down or police cars getting flat tires. But we do take those as they come. Yeah. So. But it is, as a kid, playing with trucks and stuff, it's fun to come into the garage and talk trucks and work on them all day. So
that's a great point. Was that always something that you saw yourself doing? How did that all start?
Not exactly. I just, really liked, my dad and I worked on snowmobiles as kids. And then as I got my license, started working on cars and just found a passion for it. So it's kind of fun to bring that passion to the city too. So. And
what kind of skills do you need to work on a fire truck or work on these, random city vehicles that you get?
So that's a great question because, it's not like a dealership or, say, Michigan Cat or anything, not to plug anybody here, but just, they work on a very similar piece of equipment every day. It's always something different. You have to be able to work on those smaller items or those big fire trucks. And, we have a very talented group of people in the garage that are very flexible and able to work on all those different things. And those are some key pieces that make us successful. So
yeah, very much so. And the city probably hasn't always had an in-house maintenance for our vehicles. So what does that kind of do for residents, or how does that, help with financial side of having that done in-house?
Yeah. So, it's as simple as, changing your oil yourself versus taking it to somebody, that service comes at a cost. So say we had to bring a truck into a fire truck to get worked on, you're talking roughly $200 an hour for somebody to work on that truck. Whereas we have EVT technicians on staff and we're able to do those services right in house. And then there's a lot of stuff that we take a lot of pride in. We know the use of it better than an outside source. So we're able to project those different repairs differently and save some money there too. So we take a lot of pride in maintaining our equipment to make it last. We want to stretch that piece of equipment as long as we can for the city's dollar. So
yeah, you're very good at that, and especially keeping the residents' money in mind. That's very fiscally responsible.
One of my favorite things.
Yeah.
So
so it's getting ready to prep for winter season. The snow plows, they take a lot of a beating. Your police cruisers, they could be running 24 hours a day.
Absolutely.
Fire trucks, these large vehicles that they're sitting in the garage. Then when they need to go out, they're running down the road and everything that is on them is kind of moving, jumbling. What do you guys do to just preserve what we have?
Yeah. So with the plow trucks, for example, every winter we do a winter, or every fall we do a winter prep. We're actually already started about a month ago on those. And we go through and try and project any possible failures. We inspect all the hydraulic lines and things like that. It's a lot easier to replace those now than it is in the middle of a snowstorm when that truck is needed on the road.
Smart.
So we do a lot of those preventative measures. And then in the last few years, we actually do this. We've added sandblasting and painting to a lot of our maintenance items. As far as a truck gets a few years in service, we'll actually sandblast and paint the frames. And then we do this, we use this product called fluid film, and it's like just basically a rust preventative. And we treat almost all of our fleet with this fluid film to help prevent rust and preserve the vehicle as long as possible.
Yeah.
So because they're always out in the worst conditions, so try and keep them nice, while they're out there in those bad conditions.
Yeah, very much. One of the things that you all had been working on in the garage was it seemed like rebuilding a fire truck or a fire tender.
Yep.
I think what does that help keep
Yes,
sure what a tender is, but
so a tender is just another name for a tanker.
Gotcha. Okay.
Ours is a 4,000 gallon tanker.
Gotcha.
It's a 2006 model,
Okay.
and from the beginning, it was a fiberglass tank, and it was spec'd with some. I don't know if it was a cost thing or whatever at the time, but it was spec'd with some different plumbing, and it didn't flow the water capacity that it really should.
Okay.
So it was always kind of, they use multiple different agencies' tankers when they are running a chain of tankers typically.
Okay.
And ours was kind of the slow one to offload. So
Gotcha.
People wouldn't call on it very often. So we also had problems with the fiberglass tanks actually cracking. I think in the 10 years I've been here, we've had it replaced or had it repaired 5 times.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So it was time to do something else with that. And we actually purchased an all plastic or poly tank.
Yeah.
It's all fabricated and plastic welded. Very cool. And then we took that chance to refurbish or bring some more modern life into the truck by we work very closely with local lighting agency, and we purchased new lights, and we have a talented technician that actually built fire trucks before, and so it has all new lights on it. Used the chance to do the black over red scheme on it and give it that fresh look, and then it now has a 4-inch valve versus 2.5, and it flows like you wouldn't believe it. Passed pump testing with flying colors, which was a huge relief and success. So it was exciting to hear firefighters say that truck's never worked that, never pumped like that before. And so it was really rewarding to hear that.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So crucial in a time of need. And how does that make you feel, Hannah?
Yeah. So it's really cool in our position. I always joke that we keep the city rolling, that police officers and firefighters and the DPW couldn't do their job without the equipment they need. So it's very important that in the background we're keeping, all these vehicles maintained, and, they're able to travel the streets, make them safe. They're able to put out those fires or, rescue a person. So it means a lot that we're part of the team that way. And I think Walker's close knit enough and small enough still that you feel like you're welcome and part of that team. So, and I think all the guys in the shop, I think I could speak for them, where they feel like they're part of each department. So we're kind of the black sheep of the family in a way, and we relate to everybody, and everybody comes to us to fix things. So
yes, that is great. You guys are so knowledgeable, and you really do try to get out in the public too. We see you at some of the community events, the ones that maybe you're not helping set up for, but you've got a table. You love showing off the vehicles. You love bringing them to touch a truck events. What is that like? That community feel?
Yeah, I'll never turn down a time to talk about trucks for sure. And it's perfect to. For example, just showing seeing kids light up when they see the fire truck's lights turn on, or the loader set up, and just climbing in the cab. You could be inspiring somebody for a future position, or just igniting that spark. And it's really fun to be out in front of the public and educating the public of what the DPW does and the garage. And I think we're a very humble department, and we don't brag about ourselves, or and it's fun to get out there and just see people expressing interest.
Yeah.
So
yeah, absolutely. I do social media for you guys. And like you had mentioned, you are very humble. You're not used to being like, hey, this is what we're doing. Oh,
Right.
post this picture of us doing this. So it's hard to get that information out of you, but it's because of a mindset. It's just like, we're here doing our job.
Yep.
We don't need accolades for it.
Yeah, exactly. It's nothing special. It's just another day for us, but it's nice that we're sharing that with the public. And I think you don't know what people, what goes on behind the scenes, and it's fun to share a little bit of that.
Yeah.
So,
do you think there is a misconception of anything when it comes to public works, whether it could be like what you guys do, whether it's parks, roads, fleet management?
it's really hard just to when you say what you do for a living, you work for a Department of Public Works or something like that. People think there's that misrepresentation of a shovel leaner or something like that, and it is just so false. And I think we are definitely not that way, and I hope we can educate people and show them that we are extremely busy and there's no time for leaning.
Yeah, right. And you're just very proud. I mean, we brought this up. You're just very proud of what you do. This is your way to serve and give back to the community. You know?
Absolutely. Yeah. I couldn't imagine doing anything else at this moment. It's great to, like I said, serve the public and, do what we can to be successful. So,
and coming from a car guy and maintenance, any kind of tips for folks who may want to kind of like work on things on their own, of how you maintain things or how you do preventative measures? Any kind of tips you can give to the neighborhood garage person?
Yeah, it's definitely getting harder and harder to do yourself with all the electronics and everything. It's easy to mess stuff up. So make sure you take precautions, use those jack stands, consult somebody before tackling a project, and make sure you know what you're getting yourself into, I guess.
Great words of advice. And how long do you typically like to keep certain vehicles on hand for? How long do the
so for example, a police car that we actually are just pulling one out of service that it takes about 3 years for a police car to get to 125,000 miles, and that's about where we pull them out of service, just because of failure rates and the usage. We tend, those, like I said, are typically around 3 years for a police car. Fire truck, just because the amount of cost involved and the amount, they're less mileage, but more hours than mileage. To spread that cost out for it to make sense, we keep those for about 30 years. And then a DPW truck, we're shooting for that 15 to 20 year range. We had a long cycle where we kept them 25 to 30 years. We actually still have a truck that's 30 years old. And it doesn't, there's been enough change in the city where it doesn't fit our need as well anymore. And I think you're going to find that 15 to 20 year range is going to be, like you said earlier, it's a rough life for a plow truck. It's doing a tough job, and it takes its toll over time. So it gets expensive in the end, but no, it all varies, just making sense cost per age of the vehicle. So and use is a big thing. Idle time on a police car versus a DPW truck that's in and out every day makes a big difference.
I can see how it would. And you also are able to, not only are you working underneath the vehicles, you actually hop in the driver's seat, because I see you doing some plowing and such, so you get that kind of experience too.
So in the garage, it's kind of nice. We're not only helping mechanically and repairing stuff, but we're also, in time of need, crisis, we're obviously part of the team. We will be out there if you could see one of us with a chainsaw in our hand, or like you said, I'm in the loader plowing the complex. That way I'm close if something does break. We, in time of crisis, DPW is there to do whatever is needed. So we definitely have that team atmosphere where we can help each other out.
Awesome. And looking toward the future, where do you see as far as like maintenance or the city's direction of their vehicles? Where do you kind of see that going?
So the city is growing at a rapid rate, and I think with added staff, you're going to see that the fleet will grow more as time continues. Just because of the amount of people that are just going to need more vehicles moving around the city, and I think the other thing is, as far as not only being more vehicles, I think they're also going to continue to get more complex. I think you're going to see, you're starting to see in agriculture, the autonomous tractors and things like that. I think we're not far off in the future of seeing, autonomous mower mowing a soccer field, in a park maybe. Who knows? But then I think in my lifetime we'll also be dealing with alternative fuels and things like that too. Not saying any particular type at this moment, but I think that's definitely in the future.
Yes. Well, Ben, we appreciate your insight. It's really cool to kind of go behind the scenes into the garage and know what it's all about. So.
I really appreciate you highlighting us.
Yes, of course. Well, thank you so much, and keep up the awesome work that you do for our city, Ben.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. And thank you.